be right back. Alright. Be working on a couple things here, fixing some bugs. Kind of chilly in here. Working on a new call out. So thanks to the guy on Facebook. For giving me an idea. This call out could be more of a, I guess, a park ranger type call out. So I actually have a couple new call outs. I got the solicitation one, which I'm working on right here. This one's gonna be the most advanced one I've done yet. I have a welfare check. Just to make sure that, because I'm still in an older update. So I just want to make sure that I can put my old file back in just in case. Shoot. Just in case, put me back on my old version. Look at my other code over here. Okay, yeah, let me see if that actually works right now. If not, we'll have to change up the function. So we're still trying to work out bugs with my solicitation. I've had some pretty major bugs. And right now, I think the only bug we have left, from me testing it over and over, is when their stories match, it says you should arrest them because I had the old function in for the old system. And we don't have it implemented in for a warrant yet. We don't have a Boolean set up. So when the player ran their name and they felt like they did everything fine, or if they did everything fine, it will still say, oh, so-and-so should have been arrested. And that's because we had a Boolean for a wanted, and that they should be arrested if it's true, but we haven't implemented that in yet, so. So we'll check out. I'm trying to make this call out as close as I can to Albo. It's pretty difficult. He was one of the probably the best modders and developers in the community back in the day.
Dispatch calling unit. Need a unit to respond.
I gotta fix that too. Text him here. Gotta fix that. And the missing call, we're gonna have to fix that. Let me make sure I got sound. I haven't added in for call out interface. Doesn't work with that yet. I hate when that happens with that bike, bro. Where's she at? Over here? And we got a hook meter. If you look at the bottom right, our hooker meter. So if you have your lights and siren on, you spook her away. I'm gonna show you. What's your problem? Let me lose points.
We are code 4. No further units required.
So you don't want to have your lights on, and you kind of want to stay back. Please don't notice me. Okay. That's not the West. That's her. That's the O one. Here she is. So it was very difficult to get as close as I could to Albo, but I do have the cars going off the road a little bit. And that was pretty difficult to do. Not gonna lie. The problem is, yeah, that's a problem. We're gonna have to make sure, we're gonna have to change that. Make sure that that seat's empty. But I've noticed every time there's always somebody in the car, she never gets in that car anyway. So I wonder if that's like, okay, we're gonna find out. I'll definitely get feedback from other people. And it's not always a male. There's a chance it could be a female too, which don't make sense with my dialogues because I'm gonna ask her, why are you in her car, or why are you in his car? But if it's a female, it just won't make sense. So we need to make sure it's always a male. So we're gonna work on that too. So I'm gonna go up to that car next, and there you have it. They get there a little quick because he was like right behind her, but maybe he was just interested. This guy is crazy. And I took the ID because I'm gonna let police and redefine. This is gonna be compatible with police redefine later on. I'm gonna work on implementing it, but it won't work with Stop the Pay because I just don't have access to the API. It kind of sucks, but whatever. You're gonna park right here in the middle of the road, aren't you?
All units, we have a suspect resisting officer.
I don't want him to run, bro. Trying to check things out, dude.
Have you clear 1110?
Alright, passing cars. Looks like we're gonna be southbound.
And I haven't added it in yet where you can end it with the end key. This is the problem. See, this is the problem with these cars parked on the side of the road. That's the problem. They always park right in front of her, too. I don't like that at all. So they're just gonna crash into it. They're stupid. They don't know how to go in front of it. And then we're gonna work on writing this other little small call out too. I'm probably gonna have it get a random street. So oh my god. So I took the I took the ID out of my menu for the passenger and the driver because I'm gonna let stop the pay. If you're running, I'm gonna let I mean police and redefine handle it. You're not running, are you? Oh my god, dude, you're an idiot. What are you doing? Stupid. This guy's running, isn't he? No? Alright, sir. So I see, as you can see, I took the ID out. Everything. Now, the menu, I'm trying to get as close as I can to Albo's. Albo's the only one that I know of that has done this. But it was very difficult to get to work, and now that I got it to work, it's giving me some issues. It's kind of flickering. I need to figure out why. I haven't figured it out yet, but it's not flickering right now, which is good. It comes and goes, but right now it has not flickered. Why is this lady in your vehicle? She's my wife. Where are you two going? Grab some food? Two, how do you know this lady? Because she's my wife. Alright. Kept it simple. Now this might give us a false that they should be arrested because I still have the Boolean. If it's true, then whoever the warrant is true for, then we need to arrest them. But since I don't have that in right now, it's not compatible with police to redefine or anything. It ain't gonna work. So we need to take that out until we get it. So let's see if her stories match. See, now it's flickering. I don't know why it does that. We need to figure that out. The menu works. We just need to figure out why it flickers. I don't know why it flickers. I got to figure that out. Why are you this Melville? I met him recently. I needed a ride. He's taking me home from the beach. Her story does not match up with his. They're lying. So if I was to end the call out without taking them to jail, I think we'll get points deducted. That's the way it should be, at least. You never know with coding though. So if I was let them go, we should. Yeah. They should have been arrested. Obviously, they were lying. And it looks like it showed it twice. Why did it show it twice? I'm gonna have to look into that. So it displayed Code 4 message. But it should only show it one time. So we will look into that and see what's going on with that. Let's look at the code here. Sleep. I need to clean some of this code up. See, this is the one that it pulled right here. Let's try something here. Hmm. Let's go down. I'm married. You see right here? So else there should be false, 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 false. False, false. So not married. True, 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 true. They should both be married because it doesn't match up. They lied. So we're gonna figure out why it's showing up double. Just so we can test this out and figure out why it's showing up 2 times, which it shouldn't. We need to find. Let's try to look at the traffic stop first. So in traffic stop. So let me go to here. It's probably gonna be down here. Yeah, so I want to see if this code is getting displayed one time or if it's showing double. I want to make sure this is getting called correctly. Column code for displayed. Because what's going on is showing this message. I think it's duplicating it for some reason. So we're gonna do. Oops. Let's see something real quick. All right. So let me try. Well, I'm gonna do the name stuff here in a bit and see if that adds up. Let's go ahead. what should I name that call out be with the cows? We're gonna have to obviously get the model of the cows anyways. I'm not sure what the model name is for those. Loose, live, stock. That looks like a pretty good name. Alright, we need some usings. We already got our system. We already have... What do we need? Okay, we need... Do we have drawing? We do not. We need using, drawing. System drawing. Using system dot windows dot forms. Using rage. Using rage native. Using rage native dot elements. Using lspdfr dot mod dot api. Using lspdfr dot mod dot callouts. We'll just copy these over there. That should get rid of the error. And we'll just put changes to that. There we go. That's my Mamba class. That's my own custom made class. That's my own API. That's my own everything. So it's right down here. It's all custom written by me. This is how I do my everything starts almost everything starts with an underscore. This is where I get some critical information. I can clear the entities and stuff with my own entities to clear, blips to clear, and we have to call under these two things right here for the Mama class to work. And all you need to call is Mamba. You don't need to call call out because Mamba class handles that. So all you need to call is your Mamba structure, and then everything is how it should be. And then I added some debugging stuff. So when you guys crash, your games crash, and you can see that's being caused by my plugin or my callout pack because I have this in here, and I have a thing in here that I add in every one of my callouts, which is a try and catch. What this is going to do is it's going to allow not only for me to see what's going on, it's going to show exactly where the error is going and what happened, and what I need to do as a developer to go into my code and find the issue. But not only that, but it's also going to really, really be very effective in making it where your games don't crash. It's all it's going to do, for the most part, is end the callout and avoid the crash. So it's going to be really good to try to avoid your guys' game from crashing, or else any plugins from crashing if something's wrong with the callout, or my callout pack in general. So it's really going to help do really good to find errors or problems that's going on. I'm very proud of this. And then I have a handle force key, your classic end key. You hit your end key on the keyboard and it ends the callout. Then I have some stuff in here that's in my INI that handles all the keys in there. So if you go into plugins, you go down to my INI, you can go in here and change the force in key to whatever key you want, and you have a modifier. That's all being done right here. So this is, it's kind of clumpy. There's a lot of code. I mean, I'm not using this code anymore, and I just have it commented out. I haven't even used it in so long. What I need to do more comments like these. I need to do more comments to myself saying for other developers saying what something does, like this code does this or whatever. It's just I don't do comments enough. If I give this to another developer, they're not gonna know what it does right off the rip. They can read it, but they're not gonna know what it's tied to, you know. So I really need to make it more cleaner and go through and actually write comments of what things do. I think it'd be just clean. It might look so much better, you know. All right, so we have livestock. Livestock. We obviously need a private vector 3. I could do a blip, or I could do a search radius. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Yeah, so you know what? Let's go with search radius. It ain't gonna make sense to blip all the freaking cows. I think a search radius might be good. And just in case we need a coordinates, let's do this in Sandy Shores for now, if we could test everything out. Maybe Blaine County area. We don't have no call-offs over here, so maybe let's just go like there's a lot of farm over here. I could do it on a random street. You know, get a random street, but let's just maybe we'll stick to an actual road first. Maybe I don't know, over here maybe. Let's just find a road. Let's just say right here. This is perfect. The hell? 1, 2, 3. Get the coordinates. That's a script I made. All I gotta do is hit one button, and it gets me my coordinates I need. Just go to scripts, save coordinates, and there is our coordinates that we can use if we need to. So we got spawn point. Let me just take this air out over here real quick. Where is it at? Where is it at? Up here. It's just getting on my nerves. How did that happen? See, I'm getting a little bit better at writing comments. Passenger, driver, just keep it short. It's kind of dumb. I mean, I could just say like passenger, data, driver, data. And you know what? Instead of commenting everything out, let me just get this out of the way. What we'll do, private. Oh, no, man. I suck at spelling sometimes. Come on. Private, ped data. So this is going to be ped data is from the Common Data Framework, which is police and redefined. And I could just put that down there. That should get rid of the driver error. And it does. And then passenger data, we need to call on that so we can get rid of that error. And then we can work on that. Private, ped data. Oh my god. That's not what I was trying to do. Make sure I get the spellings right. That should get rid of the errors. There we go. So that could be used. I'm going to work on getting that implemented in. Man, I got such a headache. We don't need that. So private blip, search area. We could do getting set, but we'll just do that for now. So now we gotta figure out how to get the cows. I've never done cows before. I'm gonna have to go to 5M and see if we can find a cow. All right, here we go. So here's models, but let's find animals. Here we go. Cows. Here we go. We can use this. We should be able to spawn it in as a pet, right? I'm assuming. It says it's a prop, but I'm assuming. Yeah. We're gonna use that name. Let me minimize that. So we'll do a private list. Pet. Cows. And how many cows should we have? Maybe 2 the minimum, and maybe like 7 maximum. I don't know. There's our array for our cows. Now we need, let's see, let's think about this. So I don't want to go too fast. I want to think about it because, so we're going to have cows. They're going to be roaming the street. Now, should we wait for the player to get close enough before they start roaming off the street? Or roaming their on the way, that way when the player gets there? Or maybe they get there and the cows already moved. I don't know. I'm trying to think how I want to do that. I can do that. Where the cows, maybe they get there, the cows are still there. Maybe they get there, the cows are already gone off the road. Or I can have that code run when the player gets close enough. Then the cows will start moving. But until then, they'll be frozen in place. I could probably do something like that too. I don't know how I want to do it. I'm gonna take it slow and really think about what I'm doing. I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget nothing, you know. So what we'll do is we'll say bool scene, or well, I should probably capitalize the S. Scene cleared equals false. Private bool help shown equals false. Okay. And then this is gonna be a random chance to spawn between 2 to 7, maybe 7 cows. So we'll have to do a private read only random underscore. We'll name it random. We'll name it underscore. So we'll name it that. So we got a call on that. We can get a random number. And now, like I said, we don't have to call. We don't have to call on this because we have our own functions that we use, which we'll be calling on this right here. We need to call on that. So I have a new call out for welfare check, which I've been working on. The most intense one, which is going to be the solicitation one. That one's going to be the more advanced one I've ever done. Just lots of loads of code. Just lots of code. And then I have the one that handles the traffic stop, which, look at all this code. About 3,000 lines of code, huh? Boom, 2,000 over 2,000 lines of code, which is insane. This one's going to be kind of easy to make, maybe. Not really going to be the most intensive one ever. So, public override. Don't want to do a public override? We could try. But we can't do a bool. We cannot do a bool for before call out. See, that ain't gonna work. See what I mean? So the way we do it, if you go to one of these other call outs, we have to call it internal override void instead of bool. We just have to call that because we handle the return over at Mama class. So like that. So that's how we have to call it. That's my custom class. I don't know why. I just wanted to have my own little API type thing into it. My own little custom stuff. Drinking some coffee, coding, chilling, Super Bowl tomorrow, go Patriots, man. I'm just vibing. So I've been doing websites. I've been coding websites for a long time. I mean, I do websites as well. I could even show some of that. I've been doing that since 2013. I've been doing video game stuff for 6 years. And, I mean, I got, programming books that I've learned throughout the years. And took courses, took online schooling. I love it, dude. I just love programming. I'm not sure what I did with my website. I think it might be over here. What is this? This is it. This is it. So this is it. The Twitch one works, but the YouTube one doesn't work. I'm still working on it. I mean, this is my website for my live stream and stuff, and I mean, it's all right. I mean, the menu kind of looks a little funky for the mobile. I don't like that, but yeah, I had a fun time making it. It was kind of difficult though, the way I was trying to get my colors, because my favorite color is green. That's why I have everything green. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to get a random. We could do a random number, random like location on a street, like we could say spawn point, right? So we could say spawn point equals world dot get position on street, or get random position on street. So we could say or get next position on street, which works, right? And then it'll be close to the player. So we need to say dot game local player character dot position, and then we need to say dot around, right? Around 800. So that's saying, hey, take our spawn point of where, of any location, get next position on street, and we want it to be close to the position of the local player and around 800 float or meters or whatever. So that's what we're doing there. But I might that's getting a random location on the street, which is nice. Just to get a random position on the street, no matter where the player is at, which is nice, right? Or if we wanted to do a fixed location, then let me see if I got an example somewhere in here, somewhere. Oh yeah, I took it out. I put all my locations over here. So as you can see, I have product location, that's your vector 3. So that would be a new vector 3, then you put your coordinates in there, and there's your fixed location. But I don't have any callouts that gets the random position on the street, so we'll roll with that. Show callout for a blip. We're not going to do that. That causes issues because I have it in my mama class. I already have that preloaded in right here. So if you add that in to your callout, it's going to cause issues. It's going to be, you're going to have a mini-map flicker, and it's not going to go away. It's not good. It'll be there the whole game. So we don't want that. What we could do, we're going to do callout position to our spawn point, callout message equals, and then you can put in here, right? We could say cows or livestock, whatever you want to say. Cows blocking roadways. I don't know. Whatever you want to say, right? Just cows blocking roadways or roadway. I don't know. We'll come back to that. We'll figure out a better name for that. And then for our scanner, which not sure what we're gonna do for cows for a scanner. So for now, we'll keep that blank and we'll just do functions. Play scanner audio. And then you put your scanner in here. So we'll keep that blank for now. And I think that's it for everything that we need on before callout, I think. So now what we need to do, let me think. We could spawn cows. We could say spawn cows. Let's just write the and then what we can do is we can call on the let me think about this because I don't know how I want to add in the blip. Okay, so let me see. I got an idea. We're gonna have a function. Okay, here's the idea. We're gonna have a function because you know me. I normally I had this mapped out, but I just got this idea today by somebody. So what we'll do is we'll have a function that handles the spawning of the cow, its own function. So what we can do is we can put that function into our end call out. When they accept it, it runs the spawn function for the cows. I think that might be the coolest way to do it, the easiest way to do it. So what we'll do is I'm gonna get an error. I'm gonna get an error when I write this in a minute because I'm gonna call on a function that does not exist yet. So don't let that freak you out. So internal override void. What the heck? Void on callout. So there's our on callout accepted, right? And our end callout is our process. So in here we're gonna have a function. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna name our function cows, spawn cows. That's gonna give us an error because we need to go in and write. I'm just gonna go ahead and get that right now out of the way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and create the function for that now. So what we're gonna do is maybe we can do like a private void spawn cows, and there goes our error. So we're gonna call that function. This is gonna handle the spawning number of cows. I think that might be the easiest and more fun way to do it. Okay, now we need to work on our blip, our search radius. This ain't gonna be a massive call out. It's gonna be a very overall simple call out. So search area equals new blip to our spawn point at around 35 float. Search area, we need a search area color, and we can just do yellow. And then we'll do a search area dot is en route equals true. So they have a waypoint when they're in a vehicle. They have a little tracker thing that takes them right to the scene. And then a search area dot alpha equals 0.6f. So that's gonna handle that. And then we can maybe do a game.display notification or help, whatever we want to do. And then I think for the colors for dispatch, we normally use B dispatch white. We need to do white. I spell multiple. I think it's multiple. Is that multiple? Is that right? Multiple, maybe. Cows. Multiple cows. I think that's how you spell multiples. I hope. Multiple cows. Multiple cows are blocking traffic or blocking. Multiple cows are blocking. So this is going to give you an in-game notification above their minimap. Multiple cows are blocking traffic. Clear the roadway. That should be all we need for our on-call out. So now we need to check if the scene is cleared, return. If all cows are cleared, and if help has not shown, then we need to show them a message that the livestock is clear. Help show equals true, and then we need to check if the key is down to end the scene. Which we don't have to do that. We could just whatever. Or we're just gonna check if the key is down and they can end the call out if they need to do that way as well. So how we'll do that is we'll do our public. Nope. Internal. Override. Void. And call out. This will handle our function of our call out. And then so we'll say if scene is cleared, return. Nothing happens, right? That could everything's good. and then we could say handle cow. So this handle cow behavior is going to be something that we're going to call later on. It's another function. So what we'll do is we'll say handle cow, and this is going to handle our cow behavior, basically. So we'll say handle cow, be handle cow behavior. And we'll call it like that. Once again, we'll come down here, public, and what we'll do is we'll call on our private void handle. So that error's gonna go away once we call on this. Alright, so this is gonna handle this is how you spell accept, whatever. So this handles the in-game. So the end callout is a process that runs per frame, every frame that runs. So you want to have your while loops and your information in there, because that runs every frame. So like your notification that pops up to say, hey, press Y to talk to this player, that needs to be in here, because that runs every second. We need it to run every second. So when the player goes up, that's constantly on the screen until they press Y and then run the rest of the code. So that needs to be in here. All that stuff is going to be handled in here. That's why I have, the scene's clear, return, and I'm going to add all this other function stuff in here. And we added that in there, and then what we're going to do is say if all cows cleared. So we're going to say if all cows are clear. If all cows are clear. Think about this for a second. So we're saying if all cows, yeah. If all cows are clear, then we need to say if exclamation point, because that means has not or has not happened or is not active or does not exist. It does not. That's what it means. So if we're saying if help shown is not on screen, then we want to make it true. Help shown true, right? And then here we'll say game.localPlayer or game.display help. And then here we'll say all livestock cleared. So we're saying right here, if all cows are cleared and we had not, and help shown has not shown up or is not active, let's activate it. Let's make it true, and let's give them a message saying that all the cows are off the street and clear to go. So if we didn't have a exclamation point, we're saying if is true already, then maybe make it false, right? So if help shown is active, make it false. So we have an exclamation point. We're saying it's not active. Let's make it active. Show it. Make it true. Give them a message. So that's what we're doing there. Once again, we're getting an error because we're calling on something that does not exist. So let's just get these functions out of the way. I like to do my functions separately. That's what I like to. I think about what I'm gonna name the function. I put them in here, and then I come out and write them in the function. So let's get that out of the way. Let's just go ahead and write that function, and get that out of the way. So we'll do a private, so the error should go away once we write this. And there we go. That should go away, and it does not. Okay, why is that not going away? Let me think about this. Did I type something out wrong? Interesting. Okay. If all is cleared. Interesting. If all cows are clear. Can't input convert type val to bool. Interesting. What's going on with that? Interesting. I know what it's saying, but it's saying that it can't get. This is a bool, and it can't get it because I have a void, not a bool. But I don't remember how. Man, I don't remember how to get rid of that. So this can't be a bool. This can't be void. We know that. What about? So I know it needs to return. I know it needs to return. All right. So we'll have to return it. So we could return it. No, we need to return it. All cows, yeah, true. Duh. All cows are clear. So this needs to be a bull. We're checking if they're cleared. That's why it wasn't working. I was confused. Cause I knew I needed to check. What it was telling me is they couldn't convert it from a void to a bull. Because we're checking if this is true, right? So if the cows are clear, we need to run some extra code for that and code for everything and all that stuff. So I knew I wanted to do, but I'm like, what the hell? So this has to be. I could probably go back to a private on this one. And then we'll keep that private like that. So that's our end call. So now we need to say, so we need to check if they exist. If not, we're going to have issues. So I'm going kind of slow because I like to teach as I'm doing this. It's just something I like to do. And plus, I just got this idea today, and I've never done anything like this, like with animals, so I don't even know. All I know is I can spawn the cows in my end call out. I can spawn the cows in there, but I like to do most of my spawning of pets and stuff and their own function. It keeps everything clean. I just like doing it that way. So we're gonna handle the spawn the cows in here, and this is also gonna handle. We're gonna have a random number between 3 cows to maybe 7, which means you may go to the call out, there may be only 2 cows blocking the road. Maybe the next time you go to the call out, there's 7 blocking the road, or maybe it's 5, 4. Anything between 3, 7. We're gonna have a random number between those numbers, so we can kind of keep it interesting, right? So I'm just thinking about this because I want to make sure it's clean. And then we could register it in our main by doing this, so we could test things out and everything. We can just go ahead and actually register it now. So this will pop up in game. Type of. And then livestock. There we go. So that has been registered, and it has not been registered. What's going on here? What's my name? Let me check what my name is on here. What did I name it? Cows. probably name this loose cows. Interesting. Here we go. So loose cows, there we go. We got to work. I was about to say, I don't see it in here. So loose cows, that has been registered. That will show up in game, but obviously it's not gonna do anything. We got a lot more to do. It's a big ass freaking mosquito, Jesus. So I got 3 callouts in the works, man. I've been working nonstop, and the solicitation I've been working on for a month and a half, a month. This is a difficult piece of work right here. Very difficult, very hard. I never done a menu before in any of my callouts, so it was very, very, very difficult. Not gonna lie. I've been doing it. I've been working on it for months, and then I went ahead and added a dialogue handler. That's kind of like an inspiration from Albo. That's gonna handle this nice menu window dialogue thing that pops up. It gives the player more feedback so they can see the questions that you want to ask them, and they can press what button or what. They can have more flexibility in their questions. And this was not hard. I mean, this wasn't too hard because I kind of know websites. I know how to do rectangles and the math and stuff with it. What was hard was trying to figure out what I needed to put for this. To handle the speed string, that was difficult. So, yeah. And I need to look at it and figure out why it's flickering a little bit too. So let's go ahead and start writing some more of this code. So I guess we could probably we don't need to spawn the cows just yet. So we're in our call out. We already have all cows clear. So we need to go in here, our cows clear, and we're gonna say if, and then we're gonna check for a key down. So game dot is key down. So we're gonna call on our is key down keys dot end like that. And then we can, so that's going to check if they press the end key. Scene is secured. That's going to be equals to true because we're secured. And then we're going to call on our end function, which does not exist yet, does it? It does exist. Or we're using it from my mama class. That's why. So we have it in our mama class that handles everything over here. So we'll end the call out. So we have our. So right here. Here we go. There's our end key. I was like, where the hell is it at? So we can use that, and we can also call on the call out end too. And as you see, if I go into some of my callouts, that K9, I'm not gonna keep this one probably. I was trying to make it where the K9 can sniff out players. I'm still trying to figure out how to get that to work. I think it'd be pretty cool. Right here, call out end. We can call that as well. Make sure everything ends perfectly. So we'll call that as well to make sure that it calls that class as well. Now spawning the cows, it's gonna be difficult. So we need it to be a random number. Okay, this is gonna be hard because we want it to be a random number each time. Maybe a minimum of maybe 3 to 7 cows, right? So let me get me some dip here. I'm hungry too. So we're gonna call it integer I equals 0, and we're gonna say cow count equals rn dot next 2 to 5. Okay. So we'll say cow count cal count equals rn dot next 2 to 5. And don't worry about the error right now. So we're gonna have, it's gonna be a minimum of 2 cows, maximum of 5 cows. Alright? And then we're gonna say for int, and then we're gonna check if it's 1 to 0 like this. So int 1 equals 0. And then we need to check I is less than cow count and then we're going to say I plus plus. Come on, man. Oh my god. Like that. So don't worry about the error. We're going to get to that. My girl texted me. Hold on a second. I got a text message. I love this girl, man. When she came into my life, man, it made me so happy. After all this stuff I'm going through, you know, I'm on medical leave for a couple months due to some medical stuff going on. And I've been in the doctors and just a lot going on, and she's been very supportive of me. Everything's okay. But, oh, I'm forgetting something here. What am I forgetting? We're getting errors. Oh, shoot, I'm an idiot. We gotta call our integer. There we go. So that's gonna be a number, right? So we're saying, what we're saying here, if cow equals random dot next 2 to 5, and for integer I equals 0, if I is less than cow count, then we need I plus plus. So that's gonna call these are gonna be a random number each time. So we're calling on for each of the numbers. So it's not that hard. It can be kind of confusing to understand. When I first started programming, I was like, I don't know, I'm not good at math, which I'm really not really good at math, but it's not that bad. Alright, so then what we'll say here, we'll say vector, and this is where we can do our, if we have a fixed coordinates, you know, a header, like, I'll show you. So position, this is going to be our position. Spawn. Wait, am I forgetting something? Equals spawn dot. So right here, well, I could say equals new vector 3, and this is where you put your coordinates in right here for your fix. You know, as you can see, I have my coordinates right here, right? This is where don't worry about this. This is your heading. So I would need to add a variable for heading, a float like this. If I wanted to have, you know, if I wanted to put, like, for example, if I wanted a car to face a certain way behind another car, if I was doing a traffic stop backup, and I want the car to face each other, the cop car to be behind, I would use heading, so I would get a float. Heading. Like that, right? I put it at 0, or I'll just put it at this. And then I go into, like, whatever, you know. Heading equals, and then you put your heading in here, right? But we're not gonna do that for now. So what we're gonna do, so like I said, this is where you would put your coordinates. So you only put your X, Y, and Z. If you're doing a fixed amount or a fixed location, right? But we could do random. We could do it like this. Equals spawn point dot around 6. Like that. Now we got spawn the cow in. And then you put the what was the name of the cow? Right here. I think. AC. I think this might be the cow. So AC cow, that is gonna be the name of the cow. And we need him to be at the position. So it's gonna be ped cow equals new ped position. Position. And we need it to be a random, so position, see, cow position. And we need it to be a random. Got next. It's gonna be dot next 0 360. Think that's right? Ooh, I hope that's right. And then now we need to check if it exists, because if it doesn't exist and the game don't know if it exists, we're gonna get a crash. So we'll say if cow dot exists and we say cow dot is present true, cow dot task dot wander, cow dot add so we're getting an error on that, and that's because we're going to call that in just a second. So that should be our function there. So that should be it right there. Now to handle a cow behavior, what do we want to do with this? For each ped cow and cows if cow does not exist. So no, that ain't right. Yeah, that's right. If cow does not exist, continue. And then now we need to check if it is a float. We need to check the float distance. So float cow dot distance 2 dot character and then we'll say if the player gets close to the cows will move away. That's what we need to do. So if the player walks up, they're not in a vehicle. We need to make sure we need to check if the player is not in a vehicle. And if they get close to the cows move. So we need to check. I'm going to say player gets close, cows move away. So we're going to check that right here. And we got an error on cows, and that's because we didn't capitalize that. Capitalization matters. So that being a lowercase and that being an uppercase, that matters. That was two different variables. Let's say if distance is less than 7 float, so if they're within 7 meters or 7 float, very, very close, right? And cow got is not, dang right, cow got is in any vehicle. Yeah, that's right, I think. And then when they make that false, because they're not gonna be in a vehicle, right? But they're still a ped. And then we'll say vector 3 cow dot position dot around that should work. Cow dot task dot go dot task go to hmm. I don't remember how to do flee. I gotta remember how to make them flee. How do I do that? My mind's going blank. Cow dot task react and flee. Oh, react and flee. Game dot local player dot character. So they will flee when you get close. So we're saying if player is less than 7 float and the cows are not in any vehicle, it's false. Vector flee point equals cow dot position around 18 float, and they will react and flee from the game player, from the game dot local player. All cows clear. For each for each if cow does not exist, continue. If cow, and then if they're still near the road, if still near the road spawn, if cow dot position dot distance to spawn point less than 18 float. Return false. And now we need to clean up some things, which we're already doing it in our end, but we can go ahead and create an end function here as well. Might as well. Alright, so public override void in if search area dot exists, search area dot delete for each pet cows if cows exist If cal exists, if cal exists, cal.task.clear. That should be it. Probably gonna have some bugs. Probably not gonna work properly. You know how that goes. I'm not sure how it's gonna work. We could try it. Build that. Now we didn't add a scanner in yet. I gotta find some files I want to use for that. Probably ain't gonna work. We'll have to fix some things. This is our first time testing, see what we got. May crash, may not. Don't know. Hopefully not. Let's see if it's in here. No, I'm not even seeing it in here. Why are they not showing? Interesting. This one ain't gonna work because that's a namespace. Probably gonna where? 8? Don't crash. Why is it not registering? And it's crashing anyways. Okay, where is that? It's not finding the attribute for it. Okay, why? Gotta figure that out. Okay, what's going on with that? Let's see. I don't think I. That's why. Why are they doing under case? What's going on with that? There we go. Try it again. I still don't see it registering in here. I really don't know why it's not registering. What am I forgetting? I don't know. I don't know what I'm forgetting. Register call out. Okay. Nah, it still ain't registering. I really don't know why. it's crashing the game because it can't find. Oh shoot. That's why. We need the attribute, duh. Call out. Livestock. Call out. Why is it giving us that? Okay, what's going on with that? I don't know how I forgot that. Like I said, it's gonna probably crash. We're gonna have to figure out some things. I had to pause. There we go. Now rendered in. We got 29 up there. There it is. See what happens. Oh, the handling is bad. I don't see no cows yet. Oh my god. And we didn't clear the search radius when we get here. Where did he come from? So when we get on foot, he should get off the road when we get close enough to him. Okay, he didn't. So we gotta make sure he didn't react and flee. This is funny. Oh shoot. Oh my god, what the hell? That was not supposed to happen. This is funny. And he just gets he didn't get deleted. Okay, yeah, we got a lot to do. But we got the right idea. So we obviously need them to run off the road when we get close to him, like. And I'm gonna wait till I get down here and see. Let me see what happens. And that's not good. When you get close, they just spawn. We don't want that. We got to definitely work on some bugs, some of these bugs. He reacts to fleas and he gets a little weird, so we definitely got some work to do. And then they keep spawning too when you get close. We just gotta get the bugs worked out. And they just spawn too, so. So we definitely gotta work out some bugs here.
Have you clear?
And we definitely don't want them deleting either. So definitely don't want them to get deleted. So where's my code for that? Dismiss. So now they won't get deleted when you end the call out. I think this code's causing issues. Let's just do reactive fluidity until we get them off the road. And then let's also that ain't right. What's the code for that? If takes 2 arguments. I have 2 arguments. Game that local player character. I'm trying to remember this code. If game spawn point search area. Oh wait, it's less than. And 15. If less than. I'm gonna have to look this up. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to Google it real quick. I don't remember it. That's right. that works. We're got to figure out the react too. I ain't good. We gotta figure out what's going on with that. I might not even need to react and flee. They might just flee automatically. They might just get off the road automatically. I gotta remember how to do this. How did I do flee and react before? I don't remember how to do flee and react because they changed it. Let me go see. Road rage. I could do task clear. I could take wander off and have them just sitting there. Then they wander when you get close, maybe. Yeah, react and flee right here. Isn't that what I just did? They got weird though. Not yet. Well, I did. If cannot look per. No. Try to remember this. Cannot look per. Should be just and, right? Seven float. That ain't gonna work. Let's just go with what we had. See what happens. Just a float distance. And that takes a float number as y. Hmm. Hmm. I'm trying to remember how to do the react and flee. I did the react and flee and it got a little weird. I could probably just clear. Maybe they'll go off the road if you clear too. And he's in the air, which I don't know why that's going on. He reacts and flee, but he gets weird. He run, but then, why is he doing that? What if I do? Next one, argument. What if I do clear? Just curious what happened. I gotta figure out why they're spawning like that. We got the cow to spawn in, but he spawns in the air. If I keep doing it, what I'll do is I'll do it in the end call out.
That's a sweet ride you got there, man.
That car is on fire.
Let's fucking go already.
And they just spawn in. I think I know why. We gotta clear the task first, then maybe we can react and flee. Because we had them on the wonder before. We didn't clear it. What I'll do is I'll take wonder out so they don't get off. So they don't get off the street before we get there. And then I know I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting to give it a task. If character dot distance to spawn point is less than 35. Why is this not working? Because we don't have that in there. I don't see why. Could we have why is it not working? Working right here, but it ain't working up there. I don't know why. And that is because we're spawning in right here. Try that. See what happens. Hopefully he doesn't get all glitchy now. But now we're clearing his task before we're giving him a new task. That's what I was doing wrong, I think. I wasn't clearing his task. It shouldn't start moving until we get there. That didn't work out very well. Let's see what happens when we get close to him. Alright. Still glitching out. Oh my god, why is he doing that? I have no idea why.
Have you clear 1110?
And that's not good. They just spawned like that.
This is ridiculous! Oh, fuck.
Alright, so we got.
Copy code 4, 22.
Oh, my bad. Oh, my bad. I lost my car. Alright, so we got. Let's look into that again. So what's going on with these cows? Okay, pigs. Clear task. So let's spawn him in. Let's see how that looks. I've never done animals before, so I don't know how they're acting a little weird. I don't know why they're glitching out like that. I gotta figure out that. We'll figure it out, but we just gotta figure out. We'll figure it out.
Clear 1530.
I cleared the task. I'm gonna have to look it up, dude. I'm gonna have to either reach out to my friends or look it up. Because I did cow that wonder when the player is less than 35 meters or float away, because I don't want them to be off the street by the time we get there. Let's see. See if I can find something on my API about it. Go to Discord, see what I can find on my API. So here's a couple options. They're doing some research. Sometimes you got to, man, as a developer. There's just so much code, and sometimes my mind just goes blank. Let me try something. So to make sure it doesn't, it only runs it. I think it's running this twice or multiple times. So equal. I think it's M. How? Don't know. I think that's it. Move underscore at cow. No. I think it's is it move underscore M at cow. Shoot. Cow move it. Let me say move. I think that's it. The hell? Cow speed. Hmm. What does that even mean? What does it mean? It is read only, not read only. Proper or indexer. Look it up. Code. Let me look that code up. Oh my god. All right, let me delete this. Let me take this. And put that in there. Let me take this and put that in here. Let me move that. I could offset it. Not gonna work. What if I do cow.task? What if I do cow dot jump out of plane? What do we have here? React and flee, but task. No. Flee. I think it might just be better to do a what if I do chase? Fight against. we get close and start attacking us, that'd be freaking funny. So work in progress. We just started this day. Night, actually. Call out has been ended. That was my other one.
Get a move on! No way! You sick fuck!
Not attacking me.
That is messed up.
Is it?
Can you please move? This pain in the ass.
My
You
God.
disgust me.
Hey.
Motherfucker!
My God. They react exactly how you would in real life. Backing up.
Received and clear 1800.
So we got some things we gotta do. We gotta figure out. If I was smart, I would have done all this in one class. In here. So we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep playing around with it. Let me take clear. why they spawn in the air like that. And they keep spawning in. We gotta figure out what's going on with that. But they shouldn't get deleted now when you end the call out.
Clear 1800.
So that's the good news. And they're not even wondering either. Wait a second. We need to figure out why they keep spawning like that, though. Oh, I mean, it's working. We're getting them off the road.
Shit.
No, here. Nope, 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 nope. Oh, you can kind of lead them in what direction you want to go. You want them to go. And then once you get them in, once you think they're good, hopefully they don't come back this way toward the road when you end it.
Received, you're clear. 1800.
And they're just gonna keep going that direction too. As long as they're off the road, make sure they're off the road first before you end it, and they're gonna usually keep going that direction. It's usually how they work. Or you can call animal control too, but that's usually once they're dead. They're good though. They're not coming back to the street. So we're getting closer. We clear the task and we give them a different task. What is this? Particles? So. Now I might do another road. Bad news is it's not letting me accept this call out again. Weird.
Dispatch copies. I have you clear.
Oh, okay, I didn't
45.
end it. For some reason, the call is still running in the background, looks like.
Copy code 4, 2215.
Hello? Hello? I remember someone. Someone reported that bug too, that they can't accept the call out sometimes. Dispatch, show me en route.
Copy 1. Sam 44.
I don't think it's a call out. I think it's actually an actual bug with my pack. Cause someone has reported that bug where you can't. Cause let me reload them. We'll do that call out again and see if it lets us accept it next time. I might go to the gas station. But yeah, I hope everyone has a safe weekend. Like I said, I've been programming a long time. It's just there's so much code to remember it sometimes, and my mind just goes blank. And I've been sleeping all day and staying up all night. I've been doing a lot of coding. My mind's just faded. And I got a lot of medical stuff going. I got a lot on my mind, so sometimes my mind just goes blank on me. I forget things. There's just so much code. There's so much to learn. I still don't know everything. Not even nowhere close. You never stop learning. It's like learning Spanish or a language. It is learning a language. You're learning C#. The good thing is they're not buggy anymore. They're not in the air, but they just keep spawning in. I don't like that. They should spawn in and that'd be it. So it's better.
Dispatch copies. I have you clear. 1745.
Now they're probably gonna go back to the road. Let's see. If they do, they do. You can kind of lead them where you want them to go, and they'll go in that direction. So that's the cool thing. You can kind of lead them in the woods, and then they won't come back out here. They'll go somewhere else. And then when you leave, the game will delete them. So yeah, he got away from his buddies.
Clear. 2044.
But then you can't accept the call out again. But I don't know why. We gotta look into that. That's not good.
Need a unit to respond to a subject resisting officers.
We'll figure it out. I don't know why he's doing that. We'll figure it out. Actually, I think I do know why. We're not clearing the entities is why. Yeah. That's what's going on. So what we'll do. See, if you go look, we have blips to clear, add. Okay. All right, time to get some food. Take a break. I'll be back on later. I'm gonna work on some more stuff later. Now let me go check something real quick. So his, and then I think it's like driver full name. full name, and then yeah. I'm just trying to test this out real quick.
Need a unit to respond to possible solicitation. In downtown Vinewood.
I need to make sure it's always a male, and I need to make sure. Now this ain't gonna work probably because I'm not calling on to the I don't have it connected to police and redefined, but I just want to see what it pulls. We need to make sure there's no passenger. We need to make sure it's always the male. Oh my god, dude, what are you doing? Are you running? Dude, are you freaking serious? I'm chasing you?
Clear 2233.
Attention, this is dispatch. 4. No further units required. Dispatch calling unit. Solicitation.
In downtown Vinewood.
Dude, what the hell? Yeah, it's gonna crash. Yep, I knew that was gonna happen. Because I took out the other questions. So but we'll fix it tomorrow. I was gonna do something to it, but it's because I commented out all the questions. I was trying to test something out with the names, but I'm gonna have to add it for all of them. All right, I'm going to the gas station. All right, you guys have a good night. I'll be on probably tomorrow. Yeah.